What's up, YouTube? PT here. Lovely Saturday morning. For the first time, and I don't know how many months or weeks or whatever, I've got nothing planned. Nothing planned. Well, other than having to get up early to take my my son to driver's school. But anyhow, yeah, that's it. I got nothing planned. Finally, I get to do some shit around the house. So what I've been wanting to do for a while is conduct a little experiment using 100% phospho on bare metal, bare rusted metal. You know, my Monte Carlo, the roof is rusted pretty bad. I'm pulling it back here where I got my stash for the old 69. Not just stash, it's just my Fender. But what I've been wondering about is if I can just take this phospho and just throw it on the roof of my car, and what happens if I just do that and leave it for a few days or even a week or two, just something to stop the rust. So this is the old 69. If you guys remember, this is the old walrus nose here. There's no yellow jackets or wasps or anything built in the nest under here. Good. All right. Hang on a second to get this out of here. Oh no! Almost all my peaches are gone. This thing was full of them. I guess they're starting to drop, or yeah, they're starting to drop. These lower branches here, the rabbits like to get up here on the hill and eat them. This is actually a pit left over from when I put the pool in the backyard. This used to be, that peach tree used to be near my old above ground pool, and when I moved all the dirt back here, that's what this pile of dirt is. I built a little berm up, and that's what this pile is here. And when I moved it back here, along with some pits, and this is what just sprang up. Let me see here. Oh yeah, these look good. Not many of them left. Birds are starting to get to them. There's this one already. Yeah, look at there. Sorry, bastards. That was a good one too. But anyhow, okay, my ADD's kicking in. Sorry. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit this Fender with raw phospho. We're gonna watch it transform right before our eyes. I'm gonna leave that alone, but I'm gonna hit this right here, and I'm just gonna walk away and leave it for a week. I'll come back and check on it tomorrow probably. Maybe do a kind of an update sort of thing and see what happens as it works. I've heard that you're supposed to keep it wet, so I guess that's if you're doing like immediate prep. But I'm just gonna soak it for a few minutes here, and then once it starts reacting, I'll leave it alone, and then we'll come back. There you see a little bit of a change. That where it's eaten some of the really light rust versus that. That's obviously untreated, and this is the treated stuff. You can already see that the rust is gone. That's crazy. Okay, I'll check in later. Can you see it? That's after about 5 minutes. It's already started to turn black. The reaction with the Prep Etch. So, all right. Leave it alone, Kenneth. All right. 24 hours later. There it is. I don't know if you can tell it or not, but it is completely black. A little bit of paint down here, but everywhere where there was bare metal, it's completely black. What's up here is just ate that paint off of that. That's primer. It's old primer right there. But wow, that's crazy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go get my truck, throw it in the back. I'll take it up to the house, And I'm gonna rinse that off with water and leave it and see what happens, and see if it rusts over right away. No Prep Etch. Prep Etch. I might do crud cutter on this, or the must for rust. Eric over at ASIC, Eric mentioned something about that that he had either was using that or was going to use it, and I checked the difference between that and regular phosphoric acid or Prep Etch, and the difference between the two is chromium triphosphate, I think, which actually coats the metal. And I might try it on this spot over here, but let me rinse it off and we'll take a picture and then leave it sit and see what happens if it starts to rust over, how long it takes for it to start rusting again. Alright, here's the 69 Fender. That's bad lighting, hang on. Here we go. Here's the 69 Fender 1 month later. It still has, and now this has been rained on a couple of times. The dew has settled on it, and it is still has that black coating on it. Now some of it has started to lighten up where the rust and stuff is, but it has definitely inhibited the rust. You can see down here that it's still dark. And then the only area that is actually rusted was the part that showed up as bare metal when I hit it with Prep Etch before the first time. So it looks like it's definitely preserving it, or slowed the rust down, or stopped it altogether in the areas where the dark spots are. And the only areas that still have the light orange is the areas that phosphoric acid cleaned off when I first hit it with it. So obviously, or for me obviously, it might not be able to see it in the camera, but I can definitely tell from here that it either slowed it down or inhibited it altogether. And there's the untreated section. I never got the must for rust, or the crud cutter, whatever it's called. The only crud cutter I can find is the cleaner. Excuse me, and it's not the original. It's not the original stuff. But I'll keep looking for the must for rust, because I want to do that. I want to do basically the same thing I did here with that section right there, because that has the phosphoric acid plus the, I think it was trichromium phosphate if I'm not mistaken. But there it is. So based on this, I am going to go ahead and use the Prep Etch and find and hit any spots that I have that are bare rust, that are bare metal, or rust. It obviously doesn't work on bare metal because that converted back to rust, but I'm going to use it on the bare rust to coat the metal, which means I'm probably going to be hitting this fender because I haven't been able to get to it yet. And you can see where it's rusted pretty good until I can get this thing blasted and sanded and everything ready to go. This is for the 71. And then also on the inside of the 69, on the sides here, on the hinge pillars, inside of the hinge pillars, that's really rusty right there. I did, just for shits and giggles, do this part over here. Let me see if you can tell or not. I don't think so because of the way the light is. But I had my squirt bottle handy. Yep, you might be able to tell a little bit. I had my squirt bottle handy, and I figured I would just go ahead and give it a couple of squirts. But it definitely turns it black. But that's it. That's it for the Prep Etch experiment. I think I am going to go ahead and whatever bare metal I have shown on any of my cars, I'm going to hit them with that stuff, rinse it off, and let it do its job. It sure does look like it, that it preserves the metal. At least stops the rust, converts it. All right, KT out.